My name is Tracy Jada O'Brien. Contrary to popular belief, I have known my truth ever since I can remember.
I don't really remember a time that I wasn't engaged in supporting the center. I first joined the board in 2001 and have been involved ever since.
My connections with the center started really probably in 1973, before the center actually opened. I remember being there around the time of the opening, and we were preparing the place, painting and all of that sort of thing. And we were talking about the fact that we would have to come up with $1,100 a month as the budget for the place, and we had no idea where we were going to come up with that kind of money.
I've been a volunteer of the center since 1990. We were approached to come open Latino services here 19 years ago.
Our first executive director was Jess Jessup. It was all very exciting because we were all living in the middle of the insurgent gay liberation and feminist movements. It was all very new. At the time the center opened, we didn't know we were going to get closed down. We got threats, bomb threats, death threats. It was still criminal to engage in homosexual acts in the state of California. We were all presumed unapprehended criminals. I'm delighted at all the programs that have begun to develop here. It's at a level of sophistication now that we could not even have imagined in 1973. 50 years is a long time, but the thread is there. This is the product of so many people's hard labors. Of the original founders, so many of them are no longer here, and most of that had to do with AIDS. There's nothing like being confronted with the death of your friends day after day to make you realize that if you're going to live, you better do it now, because you don't have time.
The center is an incredibly unique and special place. That's what allowed me and Dolores Jacobs and a number of others in the community to come together now 20 years ago to start the San Diego LGBT Community Leadership Council.
In 1992, 93, the center, as I saw, was a bunch of these different little houses that had different types of services, and that's where I went for my mental health. I was the receptionist at the then LGBT Center for 500 hours of volunteer work. And it was there that I realized that being a Black trans woman, I was not always welcomed. Even though I was at the front desk, I had people walk right past me, which really hurt me. I'm really proud today to know that I was a formidable piece of the growth of the cultural part of the LGBT Center, because I stayed there. I didn't go nowhere.
The development of the place itself, I just ended up walking around looking at the place going, this is just fabulous. This is wonderful. I want to pick up the phone and call Jess Jessup and say, Jess, you should see the place. You should see what they're doing.
When you come into the center and you see someone look like you feel good. You feel welcoming. And I think the center is creating that multicultural place. Then people always can come and feel, then this is my house.
Almost all my favorite memories of the center took place right in this auditorium. I was here when we toasted the first same-sex marriages in Massachusetts, when we were elated with the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and when we gathered to mourn the passage of Prop 8, and then ultimately celebrate nationwide marriage equality. But my proudest moment here was watching my young son speak at Transgender Day of Empowerment with all the joy and gratitude that came from being able to live his authentic life. The community here made that happen. The center made that happen. We all made that happen.